Diddy's son, Christian, aka King Combs, is now being sued, just like his father is.
I think that adding these charges a month before trial is set to begin is very telling. I'm afraid to see what else is going to come out during trial, and I'm curious to see who the second victim is.
The world of commercial hip-hop. Musician and mogul Sean Puffy P. Diddy Combs. Now he's a federal defendant facing many decades behind bars. Here's the story.
Los Angeles is in shock after a dramatic FBI raid turned the spotlight on one of the biggest names in music. In a surprising twist, Diddy's son has now turned himself in. Investigators reportedly uncovered evidence of a serious crime, one that may shake the foundation of Diddy's empire. While officials haven't shared all the details yet, sources say this case is revealing a much darker side of Diddy's world, one that's been hidden behind the fame and fortune for years. With law enforcement digging deeper and questions piling up, people are wondering, why did his son surrender? And are long-buried secrets finally coming to light?
Video then highlights one particular agent who notices the home's security camera. He points the camera toward the ground. Once inside the home, federal agents can be seen using a drone. Then the video shows Diddy's son Christian with his hands in the air, pressed against the wall, then handcuffed. Diddy's son Justin then appears with his hands on his head. The agents then appear to take him down a hallway. The release clip ends with what appears to be another man who is dragged out of the home and on the driveway by agents. Photos of the aftermath show Diddy's sons Christian and Justin on the lawn of the LA home while agents seemingly continued their search.
The Daily Mail now reporting that Hilton has said both Christian and Justin have hired attorney Jeffrey Lichtman. Now, let me explain this to you. This is a trial attorney that has represented some very famous, maybe infamous defendants. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, John Gotti Jr., fellow rappers The Game, Fat Joe. Hilton says Lichtman will be investigating the use of force involved in the raid.
Okay, we have a major issue leading up to Sean Combs' racketeering, sex trafficking, prostitution trial scheduled to begin May 5th. Actually, it is so significant that not only could it change the course of this whole case, but I wonder if we're dealing with a situation that could actually delay this trial. So if you've been following our coverage here on Sidebar, you know there has been a whole lot of back and forth between Combs' defense counsel and prosecutors about who's going to testify at this upcoming trial, particularly the alleged victims. And when the prosecutors have to disclose the identities of these individuals, well, it is that issue that has now raised up again. And this is a monumental potential problem.
One of the things about testifying in a case is the jury isn't just listening. They are looking. They are looking at facial expressions, body language,
reactions,
hesitation, reactions, all of that. And, if they, put them in a different room and blur their face, that opens the door, if Diddy gets convicted, to an appeal.
So the other option would be to clear the court, but the media is still going to, you can't not have the media.
It all happened on March 25th in an upscale Los Angeles neighborhood called Holmby Hills. What looked like a scene from a movie became real life when FBI agents stormed Diddy's luxury mansion. Heavily armed and moving with precision, they marched his sons through the home at gunpoint. One of them was even handcuffed in front of security cameras. That moment was caught on video and quickly spread across social media, shocking fans and raising serious questions.
So clearly a very different sight than we're used to seeing. But there you see some of the people that were inside that mansion at the time of the raid. They are being talked to by investigators, by people from the Department of Homeland Security. I could see they're getting their pictures taken as well. So maybe they don't know who they're looking for or who they have in front of them at this point. But again, part of the process of gathering information as to who in particular was on the grounds at the time that they made entry into during this raid.
While the raids have drawn criticism from Diddy's camp over the treatment of his sons and employees, Schmidt says they were treated just the same as everyone else.
You hit the nail on the head. They're treating it like any other case. I've had cases where we had to make entry into very large estates or large places. You can kind of go back to the way the FBI did the Trump raid. It was the same kind of circumstances, a huge property They don't know how many people are inside the property. Their job is to get in, get it under control, and get everybody out, and to do it in the safest manner. So, to be specific, I don't think there was any other way to do this, just based upon the fact that the property was so big.
Multiple safes broken into, drawers ripped open, closets ransacked, boxes of gun ammo and Grammy Awards. New images from TMZ showed inside Diddy's ransacked Beverly Hills mansion during the coast-to-coast raids where no arrests were made.
People in the home are traditionally detained during raids, so they don't flee and so they don't destroy evidence.
The rapper's attorney calls it a witch hunt with an excessive show of force and hostility that led to a premature rush to judgment, adding Diddy will continue to fight every single day to clear his name.
They don't execute these types of search warrants until they believe they have an ironclad case.
New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, is at the scene of his arrest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the hotel where Sean Combs was arrested a week ago. You can now see how that arrest went down. This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Misa Hilton, mother to two of Diddy's sons, spoke out after the raid by posting the footage on Instagram. She strongly criticized the FBI, calling the raid excessive and too aggressive. Her post sparked major debate online. Some people believe law enforcement went too far, while others think it was necessary. The big question remains, was this just a show of force, or was it a justified move in a serious investigation?
Justin Combs' mom released a statement along with the video slamming the federal agents for the way they handled the raid. The statement reads, quote, "The overzealous and overtly militarized force used against my sons Justin and Christian is deplorable. If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would have not been handled with the same aggression. The attempt to humiliate and terrorize these innocent young black men is despicable. Enough is enough. Did Justin need several laser beams from firearms pointed at his chest? Did Christian need a gun pointed at the back of his head while he was handcuffed? How many times have we seen young, unarmed black men not make it out of these types of situations alive? My son's attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, is investigating the excessive use of force, which was unnecessary and certainly not required by this search warrant. We will fight for justice utilizing every imaginable resource. I'm not with the propaganda." Justin Combs' mom, Misa Hilton, isn't the only one criticizing the raids for excessive use of force. Diddy's friend and Grammy Award-winning producer Stephen Jordan, better known as Stevie J, told a reporter with Fox 5 New York he was at Diddy's home when the feds raided the mansion. Stevie J referred to the incident as traumatizing. In the interview, he said he'd never had 50 laser dots pointed toward his shirt, and he felt like agents were going to kill someone. Stevie J, Justin, and Christian Combs were not arrested or charged following the raids, and Diddy was not near his LA mansion at the time of the raid. Instead, he was reportedly attempting to board his private plane to fly to the Bahamas for spring break with his twin daughters.
Federal agents searching Sean Diddy Combs' properties in Los Angeles and Miami they found guns.
We got Jasmine Monroe here. Has got that story a little bit more in Florida Minute. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, good morning to both of you. That's right. So according to an NBC News report, which was cited by 3 sources familiar to this matter, it is not clear what type of guns were found or who owned these guns. The source familiar with the matter says that Combs is a subject to a federal criminal investigation. Now, his attorney says that the agent searches on Monday were, quote, a gross overuse of military level force. He says that Combs is innocent and will fight to clear his name.
His attorney calling it a witch hunt, telling ABC News there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. Those search warrants executed by dozens of Homeland Security investigators seizing multiple electronic devices. Agents descending on his Holmby Hills mansion in fatigues, briefly detaining 2 of Combs' adult sons, seen here wearing handcuffs. His attorney saying there is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees.
So what led to this intense FBI raid? As the investigation moved forward, new information came to light, pointing to deeper issues within the Combs. Family. For months, there were quiet rumors about family disputes, legal troubles, and long-hidden secrets finally surfacing. It turns out the raid might just be one part of a much bigger situation that's been building behind the scenes for a while now.
Federal agents are searching the house of Sean Diddy Combs here in Los Angeles, looking for what they believe is evidence that will help them build a case against the rapper. Agents took no chances when they entered that property today, going in with guns drawn. They also detained 2 people while that raid took place. It's not just this property here in Los Angeles. There is also another house in Miami that was also being searched. It's been reported that this is related to a trafficking and sexual assault investigation.
Given the graphic testimony that the statutory victims will collectively give about years' worth of beatings, drug-fueled coercive sex marathons, and multiple rapes, these are the people who will testify as part of the criminal charges, the non-statutory victims' testimony, meaning the people who testify as to this uncharged conduct, will be no more inflammatory than the evidence that the jury will already have before it at this trial. Accordingly, the highly probative proffered testimony is not unduly prejudicial under Rule 403, which we discussed before.
Allegedly, Diddy was doing other things with this victim too that they didn't know about, and now they have enough evidence to bring this.
So those charges are sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution, which is interesting because you all have this great new documentary out talking about Diddy's defense, and the mock jury in that were uncomfortable with some of these ideas of sex trafficking and prostitution and this concept of whether this really was consensual and whether they seemed to think, some of them, that the government was going too far by suggesting sex trafficking.
And here they are adding more of those charges.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
This all involves music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. He's just been sued by one of his own, producers, who's accusing him of sexual assault and trafficking. But this isn't the first time Diddy has faced serious allegations. Over the years, many people have spoken out, sharing troubling stories. Despite all that, his business and public image have largely remained strong until now.
For the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, yeah, he signed the Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and pause, but like just how, I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother went there.
A major twist in this ongoing drama is that Diddy's son is also facing legal trouble. He's now been accused of sexual assault in a case tied to a yacht party, an accusation that's taken this scandal to a whole new level. Not long ago, he avoided jail time by taking a plea deal in a DUI case. That deal kept him out of prison, but it left a permanent mark on his record. He'd been trying to stay on track since then, finishing probation and a court-ordered program. But this new allegation shows how quickly things can go off the rails, and how past issues can come back to cause even more problems.
Diddy's son, Christian, aka King Combs, is now being sued, just like his father is. A woman filed a lawsuit against King, alleging that in late 2022, right before New Year's Eve, King assaulted her on a yacht, specifically sexually assaulted. There was a party going on, she was working it, and she claims that he started to hone in on her, roping her, trying to kiss her. She claims that she tried pushing him off of him, telling her that she didn't want it, and she claims that he continued pressing on and pressing on. In her lawsuit, she actually claims to have audio recordings of this, and she includes transcripts of all of this, and in the transcripts, if they're believed to be true, they do in fact show her trying to tell Christian, hey, leave me alone, I don't want this, leave me alone. Eventually, she claims she got away from Christian. He kept hounding her. He told her, hey, take me to a place I can sleep on the yacht. She took him to a theater room, and this woman claims that's when he continued to try and sexually assault her, trying to force her to give him oral sex.
Diddy's 29-year-old son, Justin Combs, recently got 3 years of probation after reaching a plea deal in his DUI case. According to court records, he pleaded no contest to having a blood alcohol level of 0.08% or higher. As a result, the DUI charge itself was dropped. Along with probation, he's required to complete a 3-month alcohol education and counseling program. This all stems from his arrest back on June 4th, when he was charged with 2 misdemeanors related to drunk driving. The plea deal helped him avoid jail, but it's now part of a growing list of legal issues tied to the Combs family.
Hey man, I wanted to ask you, man, you must be so sick and tired of this Nepo baby debate that everyone's having. Everyone's coming for kids of famous people and nepotism. Yeah. You must be so sick and tired of that debate.
Not really. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown, so we got a big legacy to fill up too.
Oh, I love that.
Right now, bad boy be #1. Let's go, baby.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Do you feel at all any sort of way about benefiting from your dad's success, or it just life is what it is, huh? You know?
Yeah.
You could be born good looking or ugly, born smart or poor or rich or anything.
Yep. How do you be you?
Have you guys heard the rumor about Diddy's sons causing more problems? Honestly, I'm inclined to believe it. Can someone please explain this to me? Diddy's son is here throwing parties while his dad is behind bars. For the same reason. Is that gullibility, insanity, or what? I mean, didn't Justin Combs just get denied rentals for his parties because of the drama surrounding his dad? Revisit that claim, tell me nothing is wrong with it, and I won't take y'all seriously. Here's what the report states. An anonymous broker claimed Justin would promise small gatherings, but instead throw massive parties that left rental homes in disarray. He would say, I'm having 20 people over, but there would be 200. And then they would wreck the...
And then there's the biggest issue of all, Diddy himself. The famous music mogul is now at the center of a serious federal investigation into sex trafficking. This isn't just about one location. Federal agents raided both his Los Angeles mansion and his luxury home in Miami's Star Island. These were part of a larger investigation led by Homeland Security and local police. The case involves disturbing claims of abuse, trafficking, and wild, drug-fueled events known as freak-offs. Diddy, once seen as untouchable in the entertainment world, is now facing serious questions as investigators dig into a hidden world behind his public image.
The case against Sean Combs might as well just be called the freak-offs. These allegedly illegal freak-offs. It's all about the freak-offs in one way, shape, or form.
Freak-offs?
Freak-offs.
Freak-offs. Freak-offs.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
Prosecutors say that these were elaborately produced events, bringing lighting in, cameras, linens.
Prosecutors said he would masturbate during these freak-offs, and women had no choice.
Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, pleasured himself during, and often electronically recorded.
I don't think that this looks good for Diddy at all. I think that the feds are not playing. I think that adding these charges a month before trial is set to begin is very telling. I'm afraid to see what else is going to come out during trial, and I'm curious to see who the second victim is.
Yeah, we don't know how the government's going to deal with this, by the way, because they have not revealed the identities. Do they clear the court so that the testimony is not seen by the public, or are they going to reveal who the victims are?
My name is Tania Wallace. I am a singer-songwriter, and I was at I believe to be one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. 2018, I went to this freak-off. I looked to the right of me, and in the corner, I'm looking like, are those midgets? Because people were it's people over them. Like, it's people trying to hide what they're doing. They're all huddled up. So I'm like, what is that? But no, they weren't. They were little people. I don't want to say too much. They were little people. So use your common sense. Dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies, red lipstick, looking like real sexy, revealing like cute. So I'm like, what the